Good morning. It's Friday, September 15th, 2023. This is your Georgia WeatherNet morning update. A lot to get to this morning. We're starting out with some heavy rain developing over the last 3 hours between Macon and Augusta. Not a lot of thunder and lightning with those storms, but yeah, it's really a soaker out there. And you can see they're not moving much. They're developing and then just staying in place. We're going to watch those fizzle over the next several hours, but still looking out for some showers. A few thunderstorms along the Georgia coastline this morning as well. Let's take a look at the tropics. Hurricane Lee continues to move well away from us. Looks like our biggest threat up in the northeast United States will be high waves. For the most part, Lee's going to continue to arc off toward the northeast and not make a direct impact up around Maine or Boston. But again, high surf will be the big deal. And then we have a red X popping up next 48 hours. Good chance we'll see Tropical Storm Nigel form, and that will be the next storm we're going to watch. And once again, the long-range models seem to indicate that this storm will turn to the northeast well before reaching the United States coast. The Georgia, Florida, or South Carolina coast should be clear of this storm, but if any changes to the steering currents occur, that could be a different story, so we're going to keep an eye on it. But for right now, we should be all right. Checking out temperatures around the state, we have a lot of 71s and 72s, and so pretty mild start this morning. That cloud cover keeping our temperature pretty much uniform across the state. We do have some low 60s, a little cooler and somewhat drier air up in the North Georgia mountains as we get started this morning. So let's take a look at our modeling. We see the bulk of that rain right there in the mid-state, thunderstorms along the coastline, so the model's initiating almost perfectly this morning, and we'll start to see that big bulk of rain there in the middle of the state start to dissipate through the late morning hours and by noon, but still scattered showers will be around North Georgia, some showers along the coastline. We head into this afternoon, and this is where we'll see some thunderstorms start to pop up. Our severe weather risk for the next 3 days, we're not even a level 1. We just have a general thunderstorm risk over a good part of the state, so we're not looking at a lot of severe weather, just looking at some fairly heavy downpours with some of these cells if you happen to be lucky enough to be under one. But most of us will dodge the rain throughout the state, but just look out for a few of these thunderstorms popping up throughout the day. Overnight tonight, clouds will foggy again tomorrow morning, and those showers mainly in the western part of the state. We have competing air masses going on as we move through the day tomorrow, and you can see it right there, the L on the left, the H on the right. So high pressure, that's that cooler, drier air, sinking air over South Carolina, center of the high, right over Myrtle Beach, and then out in Mississippi, down toward Laurel, Hattiesburg. You got the red L, low pressure. That's your rising air. That's going to be where that humid air coming up from the Gulf of Mexico. And so we're split right down the middle. So a big difference between Augusta tomorrow afternoon and Columbus as far as the humidity is concerned. So should be fairly comfortable right along the Savannah River, but then showers throughout the rest of the state. And then we move through tomorrow evening. We're going to start to see that air mass win out toward the west, pushing in toward the east, so increasing clouds across the state. And then those showers also going to be around as we head through Sunday. And then take a look at this Sunday morning. Where did the high pressure go, right? It is gone. It has slid on out into the Atlantic Ocean, so we're going to see a good chance of rain through the day on Sunday. Again, we're going to keep our severe weather risk fairly low. We finally push this low pressure center out of our way as we start out next week, so it should be a pretty nice start on Monday and Tuesday of next week as we wrap up the weekend. Unfortunately, a little rainy on Sunday, but tomorrow shouldn't be bad for a good part of the state anyway. That's the latest of the Georgia WeatherNet. Now your local forecast from Northwest Georgia to Southeast Georgia.